Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you another video. 112-103. The Lakers got the victory. Beat the Memphis Grizzlies at home tonight, and we are ecstatic, absolutely ecstatic on Powell night that we were able to get the victory. It was a hard-fought game. Anthony Davis stood tall, and we got help from everybody. I mean everybody. And when I say Anthony Davis stood tall, I mean to the likes of 30 points, 22 rebounds, 2 blocks on 11 of 17 shooting, 1 or 2 from behind the arc. Now, he did miss 2 clutch free throws, but we were up by, 8 at the time, but it was still like, come on, man. It wasn't a perfect game for our team, but it was the intensity that we brought to the table that I think was most impressive. Even Coach Darvin Ham was talking about it, how he just liked the intensity. We were moving a little too fast. We were a little too hasty, but everybody had the right frame of mind. We knew this was a playoff-like atmosphere. We understood that we have an opportunity to move up in the standings in this four-way tie. To be firmly in ninth place right now feels great after our team actually pulled that off. Beating a Memphis Grizzly team that came through and played a tough game against us all the way through. It was close. It could have went either way, but we just made a few extra plays down the stretch. And Anthony Davis was just so much more than anybody else on the floor, man. So much more. I mean, his rebounding was just silly. 22 rebounds, silly. 4 offensive rebounds. And this is what we all understand who watched the game. His numbers would have been way higher than that because he was removed for a good portion of the second quarter because he got scarred on his face by David Roddy on a play that I had a hard time with. I had a hard time with it because they called it a common foul. And it's not that I thought David Roddy was just firmly trying to punch him in the face. But it seemed to me that when he was swiping for the ball wasn't nowhere near where he was swiping. Now, I know he's swiping upward. The motion he was swiping was upward. But where he started his motion was above where the ball was. So my thing was, am I not certain that this role player didn't just do this on purpose to remove Anthony Davis for the game for a time? Because I've seen stuff like that happen, and this is the type of matchup where teams are fighting for their playoff lives and seeding. Memphis, having lost this game, fell to third place, or tied with third place and second place with the Kings, having lost this game. So it's like they had down John Morant. They needed Anthony off the floor. He was killing them at the time. He had started up. And so I wasn't certain that Roddy was going for the ball. I know it looked like he was going for the ball to a lot of people, and the motion he was going for, you can say, oh, he's swiping for the ball. But what I'm telling you is, I'm not comfortable with that foul being called a common foul. I just wasn't, personally. It was too much blood. Our guy was removed from the game for a good 10 real minutes, 15 real minutes. And it affected the score quite a bit. We went down in that moment. They were able to make a push. But Anthony, got patched back up and eventually was able to continue the game and finish very strong. But I just had a hard time with that one. Stu Lance was the voice of reason, saying it wasn't that big a deal and that he was going for the ball and that the referees got it right and he was happy it was a common foul. I guess I'm soft because I was not. I was absolutely not happy it was a common foul. So it is what it is, man. But Anthony Davis duped that through and put up a fantastic stat line once again, despite having been removed from the game for a little bit. And got to give credit to the entire team. When I say everybody contributed, I mean everybody contributed. Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Dennis Schroeder all gave us 17 points tonight. Troy Brown gave us 13 points tonight with 3 threes made tonight from him. Talking about Dennis Schroeder's stats, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he walked out of there with 9 assists. Austin Reeves had walked away with 7 assists. So you see these guys had some big games, really big games. If I'm not mistaken, Rui had about 6 rebounds as well. I just thought people played hard, man. We didn't have Bamba. Obviously, Bron and D'Lo out. And we understood that it didn't matter. It simply didn't matter because we have a very deep team with all the elements necessary to compete. We just have to ask other people to hold up their end of the bargain, scoring the ball and doing all the stuff that the other guys do not do. And when you consider this Memphis team and what type of week they're going through, you just saw an opportunity to take this. There was no way we were going to walk into this building and not get this victory with all that they got missing from their lineup and how you know, they've only played maybe 1 game or 2 games since that happened. So I'm proud of my team. I thought Memphis, like I said, they understood what they needed to do. I didn't think they should have their heads hanging in regards to this basketball game. I just thought they ran into a better team tonight. When they're down, who they are down, and we're down, who we're down, we're a better team in this situation. It just is what it is. I thought we were just slightly better than them tonight, and it was because of how big Anthony Davis played, and then from there, everybody contributed. If this would have been an 0 for go for night or guys didn't really show up, I don't think we have this victory. But we got all of that production from so many people, and because of it, our team is in 9th place, at least for a second. We're there by ourselves, no tie, nothing. We're in 9th place. And if it were to start today, we'd be playing the New Orleans Pelicans in the play-in tournament. So this is a big deal because we've pulled ourselves out of this hole. I don't know if it's official in terms of we say we made the playoffs or nothing like that, but at least right now we are in a position to where if we don't make the playoffs or we don't make the play-in tournament, it's because we didn't hold on to it as opposed to just never getting there. And so I think that there's something to be said for just getting there for a time. To be in a position to say that you fought to get into the play-in tournament isn't the worst thing in the world when you consider how bad of a team we've been. We started the season having dropped 10 out of 11 games, something ridiculous like that, and then pulled ourselves out of that hole within the first month, and then have kind of just tried to make it as the roster just wasn't there. Made the trade finally at the deadline, and now have this thing on our backs where we must basically win every game, and since we've been aware of that, we've basically only lost 2 games. And so this team is meeting every challenge, despite the disadvantages that it's had, with just various things that we've talked about, leading all the way up to this game. But at the end of the day, the team has worked very hard. This is a very talented bunch. It's deep. Like I said, we have contributors everywhere. And I thought we got a good majority of everything that we needed tonight. There were a couple situations, a couple guys did not have great games. I can point out one guy for sure. It was our shooter. You know what I mean? We need to get more out of our guy. I don't know why my mind is going blank, but I just want to see Darvin Ham utilize everybody properly. At the end of the day, if a guy's not hitting shots, you do not want to leave him out there to just shoot and shoot and shoot, because at the end of the day, if the shot's not falling, those are lost possessions unless you're rebounding like crazy. Luckily enough, we were rebounding like crazy, but Malik Beasley didn't have it like that tonight, man. He really didn't, and we left him out there a little too long, and I think it kind of left the door open for Memphis for a good portion of the time. Now, I know, again, we're down a lot of guys, but at the end of the day, you just can't let a guy go 1 for 6 from behind the arc, 3 for, what was it? I don't remember what his official total was, but it wasn't good. You just can't let him shoot that much. You know what I mean? If the shooter doesn't have it, he got to sit down. Because at the end of the day, I do like the intangibles he brings to the table, but it's only so many 3 rebound, 4 assist games we're going to get out of him with him missing like 9 and 10 threes. That's not the type of production we need in comparison to what we can get from Austin, Lonnie, Max. And it's just, we have too many players that can contribute to ever have to deal with that type of performance. Ever. The only reason why a guy is shooting like that is because the people behind him can't play, bro. It's that simple. You don't let him out. You don't let him stay out there like that. Now if he was a superstar, his cachet was greatest player, whatever, then of course, if he's having a cold night, you're going to live and die with the guy. But a role player, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So Darvin leaned on him a little too much. I understood we were trying to, help Dennis stay off the floor a little bit, which I thought we bought him some rest here and there, but not as much as I would have liked to have seen. But then again, when you look at his contributions to the game, I don't think we went tonight without his contributions. He hit some fantastic shots down the stretch of that basketball game, as did everybody, honestly. We had a whole team full of people hitting clutch shots tonight. Austin Reeves, his bank shot. As I said, Dennis Schroeder hit several. Rui Hachimura had a big-time shot down there. Troy Brown with the big 3. It was just everybody contributing when it was winning time. And so I saw a team that understood the assignment. And I just, as much has been said about Rui Hachimura, but he really stepped up tonight, man. He's answered the bell. There's been a lot of chatter about him and how he's been utilized, how he's shot the ball, how much he does or does not contribute in other areas. But when the shots fall and when he's utilized correct, he's a weapon. And since he's such a big player, you could really, really take advantage of him when he seals people off in the paint. He's really good at finishing in traffic. And so I like how he played tonight. I still want to see him try to contribute in other areas. Maybe give me some defensive stats. Maybe try to work in a couple extra assists. Get some plays going. Try to do some things other than score the ball. But tonight, the scoring was there. He shot very efficiently. The shots he took were clutch. And he did it in the fourth quarter. And this is maybe the third game where I felt like he was a great contributor to winning down the stretch of the basketball game. And so even though much has been said, what also needs to be said is that this is somebody who has clutch intangibles. And I'm starting to understand and trust that. Austin Reeves, same thing. The plays he was making down the stretch of that game, the choices he was making, it was just the right thing. Even though he missed some clutch free throws too, we gotta breathe and hit those. But at the end of the day, the passings, the 7 assists, the 17 points, the way that he was finishing tonight. Did you guys see the incredible up and under that he made tonight for the second game in a row? It seems like I already said that last game, but there was yet another incredible finish where he just contorted his body on an up and under in an absolutely impossible way and made the shot. It was one of the best up and unders I've seen. So it was just like that. Santi Aldana had one like that too. And I told you guys that's a dangerous player. He definitely had one of those very interesting up and under layups as well. So this wasn't a boring game by any stretch of the imagination. You could feel the intensity. You can understand that we are in the playoffs. Not necessarily as it pertains to the bells and whistles and seeing all the promotion and all of that. No, but as it pertains to fighting for your playoff life, you're there. We don't have to wait for that. We're already in it. So that's what I'm enjoying about this aspect of the regular season. It's just been a treat to see how tight these teams are, and the fact that we're involved makes it even better. So right now, I think in the little cluster of teams that are at the bottom, I like us, even without the players that we're without. As is, we are just as good as these teams, it seems. And that's skewed by the fact that they're missing players, and matchups can tell the story. But at the end of the day, we're winning more games right now than I think any of these teams in this little flurry. And I think that's why we're in the space we're in, still climbing. So we're in the play-in tournament, y'all. We made it. We're in here. I hope we can hold on. I believe we can hold on. We just got to get guys healthy. And look how good we are without those guys. I mean, not to say that we beat a healthy Memphis team, but when you look around at the league, who's really healthy? Who all has everybody at this point in time, right? Nobody's 100% healthy. So you consider we're weighing our health against everyone else's health, and we're still getting victories against some very good playoff-like teams that must be beaten. We're kicking them. I wish we could have got that Timberwolves win. I wish we could have beat Memphis a couple days ago. But at the end of the day, where we are right now is in a position to say we beat them again. So I'm happy about that. Xavier Tillman, I'm glad I came back and made that video later on in the day, because I didn't mention anything about Xavier Tillman. He came out of there and had 3 blocks early in the game, a double-double. Jaren Jackson was a menace all night long, man. He walked out of there, I don't know how many points, but it was over 25 points, over 8 rebounds, something like that. He really, really, really shined. But as I told you guys, Jaren Jackson was going to be on the floor, but Anthony Davis, for sure, was going to be on the floor, and that's a much higher cachet player than anybody they got. And so that's why I'm like, I just want to see Anthony step up. I was hard on him 2 games ago, even though he had 38 points. I felt like down the stretch of the basketball game, he was shying away from the moments. Well, that did not happen tonight, and that didn't happen in the last game, and I think he's been shining bright ever since. And even though he hit 1 3 tonight, I want to say that I love the fact that he shot that 3 and held that goose in the air, man. It was just something to be said for how that shot looked, that I just think that there should be more confidence instilled in him to shoot. When you consider all the shots that we've allowed other people to miss all season long, I've never once thought, don't let AD shoot the 3. Never in my mind did I think, oh my God, AD's shooting the 3, what are we going to do? Never. I always think it's a legitimate chance that anything he shoots is going in, because that's how good he is. So at this point in time, I want us to continue to explore allowing him to shoot the ball. And I know his shooting percentage will go up from behind the arc if he continues to get these looks. It's inevitable. It's absolutely inevitable. I don't know if he'll get up to like 40% or nothing like that, but I'm pretty sure he can get above 34%. Pretty sure of that. So, and that is considered good in this league. And I think, something is to be said, since we're talking about shooting. of how Austin Reeves has turned himself into a very, very, very good three-point shooter in this basketball league in just 3 years' time. Is it even 3 years? Is this his sophomore season? He has went from a guy who we drafted and said, you know what, the only thing he can't do is hit shots consistently, to this is a guy that I need to shoot the ball as much as anybody on the team. He just shoots at, not named Malik Beasley, of course, who we want to shoot at volume. But, like, Austin Reeves can attempt 4 threes a game, and I'm perfectly fine with that because I think it's a legitimate chance he makes all of them. So, we talk about players that are considered for most improved and all these different awards. He ain't going to be considered for most improved. But I can tell you, if you zero in on his shooting ability, he is definitely one of the most improved players in the league. So, that's just what I want to say, man. I told y'all, he's one of them ones. I'm not surprised by no production that he provides us. It just is what it is. And Dennis Schroeder, man, all the credit needs to be given to him. I saw that he tweaked that ankle in that, I think it was in the second quarter or something like that. It was ever so slight, but I saw it. He kind of slid a little bit. He did a little bit of a slight kind of awkward split type of thing where he ended up kind of tweaking the ankle a little bit. He played through it, no problem, but I really still think that he's on the road to recovery in regards to that ankle, and he's just playing through it. So I think he's earning even more and more respect. You know what I mean? It's one of those situations where as long as he continues to display this, it's very easy to forgive him for whatever bad games have happened. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he has earned his respect. I think this year way more than he was able to in 2021. Way more. And I think the Laker Nation is right now starting to discover how much to appreciate Dennis Schroeder, because he's coming through, man. He's coming through as a big player that is simulating star production for us to keep us above the fray as we fight for our playoff lives. I know for a fact if he's not down there doing exactly what he's doing, we're not winning these games, man. We're not winning them. And so I don't know if I've given enough respect to Dennis Schroeder, but where we're at right now, he's going to get a lot of flowers here right now because I see it. I see exactly how clutch he's been, how much he's fighting through the pain, the adversity that he's dealt with his free agency situation, having to come back here. He's doing it the right way, man. And so we've had some bad games, up and down. He was in the little man lineup to no fault of his own throughout the first half of the season. But where he's at right now, he's playing well, and I'm very happy. That's what needs to be said. I'm very happy. Vanderbilt hit the boards hard. You know what I mean? We never look at his stats and say, oh, you didn't score. That's not what we don't care about scoring in regards to him. A couple dunks is good enough. Maybe a 3 here and there. We just want him to be disruptive, and he's that way every night. He disrupted some plays that we thought were going smooth on the offensive end for the other team. They thought they had the ball going, boom, in our hands just like that. This is why you just love having Vanderbilt on the team. Where I want to see him grow is interior defense. I know he's not looking to foul. Obviously a player like that's going to pick up fouls. But what I want to see him do is sit in the chair a bit more in the paint against some of these big dudes. I think he's more comfortable sitting in the chair around the perimeter than kind of challenging some of these big dogs when they want to go for layups and dunks. So I want to continue to explore the player and try to figure out if what I'm seeing is correct. Is he really better guarding the perimeter than he is in the paint, or is it just my perception of what I'm seeing out there? But I do see a couple layups go past him in here and there, and I didn't perceive that he would ever allow something like that to happen. But there's nothing wrong with that. He's still a developing player, and it's not a deficiency at all. It's just a discovery of what it is he can do from my eyesight. So I don't look at him as the super defensive blocking interior presence, more so than just a roamer that can disrupt it constantly. So my understanding is evolving, and I'm still extremely ecstatic he's here. So yeah, this is one of those situations. I'm just a happy Laker fan. Wenyen Gabriel played some hard minutes, made a few slight mistakes, but ultimately was just as effective as I want to see him be. He's just going to have to make sure his positioning and his spacing is right. He's going to have to study spacing and things of that nature so he can improve, because a lot of times when they're critiquing him, it's usually stuff like that. Well, he was a little further away, so he couldn't contest this close. Oh, he was a little out of position. So that type of stuff is where he's going to have to grow. But other than that, you guys know I'm a big Wenyen fan, and I'm very happy that in the second half of this season he has a legitimate role. That makes me very happy too. So I think we're better for all of these things, man. You hearing all this stuff I'm talking about? We're better for all of this. Troy Brown shooting the ball as well as he has. From what I understand, he's only missed like 7 threes in the last 3 games or something like that. 6 threes in the last 3 games. That's fantastic, man. Troy Brown playing with confidence makes us a good team. Troy Brown playing with no confidence, we lose. I don't know if people notice, but when Troy Brown disappears, we don't be winning. But when Troy plays like this, we don't be losing. So the consistency and the confidence from Troy Brown is an unsung trait that this team needs to continue to cultivate, and we need to continue to try to keep this dude developing in a positive light. Because when he got here, he was just a role player that nobody really thought was going to get any minutes. Most people didn't think he was going to do nothing. Now to end this season, just like Stanley Johnson and Trevor Ariza and so many other guys that have played that role, he's now somebody. I don't know where he's headed next in terms of his career. Hopefully he stays here, but you're not going to look at Troy Brown the same way you did when he first got in his Laker uniform. And I think Darvin Ham needs a little credit for that. I really believe that. So this is a good game. This is a good win, man. I know Lonnie Walker played some good games. A good game. I don't remember his stats, so I'm not going to sit up here and cap and say I remember his stats. But overall, I just felt like this was a full team win. And when you consider that Anthony Davis stepped up and was bringing in production for both him and Bron, basically, in regards to the boards, he produced for both players. I'm ecstatic. This is what I want to see from my superstar. If you're gonna, eat up this much of the cap and be, the head guy of the Lakers, you got to be able to put up numbers like this. This is what we expect from our superstar, especially when your name is Anthony Davis. And so he played like Anthony Davis tonight. He wasn't sleepy Anthony Davis. We're in a good stretch for Anthony. We got to keep him healthy. That's the challenge, is keep him healthy. Yeah, everything's great, but we saw how this went last time. We got to keep him healthy. So part of that is getting these guys with these boots. And when I say that, I mean LeBron and Bamba and D'Angelo, even though he's not wearing a boot. We got to get these dudes with these boots off of their feet and back on the basketball court. That's what needs to happen so that we can keep our team fresh and ultimately make this push we need to make. But I think we're in a space where, because we're winning the games we're winning, we're feeling a lot more confident that LeBron will be able to play for us again. That's the bottom line. There's going to be something for him to come back to if we can just keep the stride we're on. And the balance now is, now that we're getting players back, I think D'Lo's probably not going to miss any more games after this. I'm hopeful, but it looked like everything was looking possible today, so it should probably be probable on Friday. It's 2 more nights of sleep, man. He should be healed up. Come on, D'Lo. Get back on the court for the Raptors, man. But, this is one of those situations where I'm saying let's not incorporate him into the line, just like I was saying in the previous video, to the detriment of our shooting and to the detriment of our team. If for some reason he's a step slow defensively, we got to get away from him quick. If his shot is not falling or something like that, we got to get away from him, because what we got going on with Dennis and Austin should not be disrupted simply because of the dire necessary circumstances. It has nothing to do with whether or not I believe D'Lo can reincorporate himself quickly or not. It's just when you reincorporate somebody into your lineup, you run the risk of what happened to the goal, let's say Warriors against us, happening to us against the Raptors. And that's him shooting too much along with everybody else trying to make up for the roster being slipped around, and you lose the game. Slipped around meaning your roster switching and things of that nature. So for me, I just don't want any roster disruptions costing us games, because that's a big thing in my mind. But, Anthony Davis, if he's playing like this, can mask a lot of those problems. You can just simply mask all of that, and that's the beauty of having a player of that caliber playing this way. So I'm kind of glad we got 2 days off. We don't play tomorrow, we don't play Thursday. Of course, as I said, the Raptors will be here on Friday. Much has been said about Scotty Barnes getting ejected from his game, first ejecting of his career. I'm pretty sure he's going to be fired up for that matchup because of it, although I don't know if he plays another game between now and then. Regardless, it's him against the Lakers, and I'm pretty sure that young fella's going to be fired up. And we'll do homework on that team like we always do everybody else. Salute the Kobe Minute. And speaking of the Kobe Minute, it was a fantastic evening. I'm so glad that I was able to see Pau Gasol get his jersey retired. That's why my halftime video was under a minute and a half. I just was not about to miss that. Not at all. So anybody who's used to a certain quality, I thought I was getting 7 minutes. I don't know why you did. If you were paying attention to this game, you shouldn't have been watching me. You should have been watching Pau. Straight up. But that's how much we respect the big fella, 16, man. He not only came here with a lot of character, but he came here with a lot of heart, man. And even though we used to be frustrated a lot of time with the style of play, because we were used to a certain bruiser style with Shaq, and some of these other guys played a certain way, and he was almost the polar opposite. At the end of the day, we learned to love his style and him. And at the end of it all, with him going up next to Kobe Bryant, I don't think Kobe would have had it any other way. His number is 16, is right next to Kobe's 24, and I think that they go hand in hand. I don't think you can even possibly mention Kobe too much without mentioning Powell, especially in the second half of his career. Not only was his teammate, it's his brother. And you just really appreciated the genuine respect that Powell paid Kobe tonight on the night where we were talking about Powell. You know what I mean? When it was all about Powell, he wanted us to understand exactly how much the Bryant family and Kobe meant to him. It still means to him to this day. So I just celebrate Pau Gasol as a player. You know, I was appreciative to see some of his teammates from other places came down. I heard Jimmy Butler flew in between a road trip, 2-night road trip or something like that, to be here for Powell, because he played with Powell when he went to the Bulls after he left here for a couple years. It's like that's the type of impact that Powell left on the players and that's and coaches. You know, hearing Phil Jackson speak, everybody respects Powell. I don't think he has too many people that don't appreciate him, and including myself. I just think at the end of the day, he showed us a great level of class. He showed a great level of dignity here. He stood for the right things when he wore this uniform, and he played the right way. And so for me, Powell is just one of our great champions, and 16 should have been up a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe even 3, to be honest with you. It shouldn't have took this long. And so that's how I feel about 16, man. I think of a guy who could have been a surgeon, quite honestly. He has a great love for the medical field and a passion for that, but he gave his life to the game, and we're better for it, man. That type of sacrifice, we're better for it. And I've always thought about that. I always wondered if basketball was truly Powell's first love, because he really, really loved that other aspect of life, and others as well. But when he was on the floor, you knew winning mattered. You knew the passion to win was there. You didn't have to question whether or not he was into it or whether or not he was going to give you what he had. He gave you what he had, and you were better for it. Excellent free throw shooter, excellent passer, fantastic on the inside, fantastic rebounder, blocked shots. He did it a lot for this basketball team, a lot of the time. You know, and we were not better when he wasn't out there, to say the least. So for me, it was just a great pleasure to have Powell on the team for the years that we did. I remember we traded for him. I had a phone call from my friend, told me that we got Pau Gasol right after Bynum had gotten hurt like 2 days before that, a couple days before that. It looked like the season was over. It was devastating. We had championships hopes, and then our all-star center goes down with a season-ending injury, and we had nothing. The rest of the roster was basically little guys. It was no way Kobe was going to compete. And then we made some type of impossible trade, and I did not believe my friend at all when he called me. I didn't believe him. I thought he was capping. I laughed at him. I was like, bro, why are you telling me this? You know you're lying. And then I looked online and saw the news, and I was going crazy, man. Because we knew not only was Powell going to save our center position, but when Bynum got back, we were going to have these centers, these 7-footers, on top of Kobe Bryant. Bynum, Lamar, and Powell. And that helped us understand that even though Bynum was out for the season, next year, regardless of what happened this season, next year, we would potentially be the NBA champions. And so that's what that was. That's exactly what it was. We made the move to get him, got to the finals that year, got blown out by the Celtics. That was a Rod Monovich year. I told everybody about the Rod Monovich year. That was awful. We lost. Fine. No Trevor Ariza. Trevor didn't play in the finals. I still head scratcher. I don't know why Phil Jackson didn't play him. But we came back the next year, got to the finals again, got that first ring for Powell in Orlando, and then, of course, in 2010, the infamous Boston Celtics Game 7, where I know we do not win that championship without Pau Gasol pulling down some of those key boards and getting that key put back with probably, 4 minutes left in the game or something like that. Obviously, it's been forever, but I do remember how much Pau contributed. And just the overall team, man, how much Meta contributed. Kobe didn't have a good series that year. You know, he wasn't having a good game 6, so to speak. You know, but Meta, Powell, and the boys came through, and we remember him just like that. And, you know, when I consider Pau Gasol, I don't think about just one guy, because Powell was so much a part of the team and he incorporated his teammates so much into what it is that he did and what it is his conversation was about, till you never actually felt like you were giving praise to Powell unless you talked about Kobe, unless you talked about his teammates. And so that's what I want to say. I believe he's a Rookie of the Year. I believe Powell won Rookie of the Year with the Memphis Grizzlies. We know he played there for a million years. We know his brother was traded for him. We know his brother went on to have a fantastic NBA championship career too. So we just got a lot of respect for the Gasol family here. And, you know, I think for me also, I want to say that my mom was really appreciative of Powell too. We watched Powell play a lot. We watched him and Kobe win a lot. And my mom was brought a lot of joy by what those Laker teams did. And since she's no longer with me, it means a lot to let you guys know just how much those guys meant to us. So that's what I wanted to say too, man. I didn't get a chance to make my Powell video. And I wanted to just kind of end this video off the right way by making, since the night was about him, putting a little bit of that into this video as well. So salute number 16. I'm happy it went up. And, you know, he deserves to be there. That's just what it is. He's amongst his own. And that's really what it's about, man. Great Lakers go up. So that's what it is, man. We got some more Lakers to put up there, of course. A couple guys that are running around for us right now, maybe get a chance to do so. And I think that we're well on our way to respecting and appreciating them in this current era just the same. So their legacy is being written right now. I think, you know, the inspiration of seeing Powell have his jersey retired really did something for Anthony Davis. And I think Anthony Davis brought some of that to the table. I think he's dreaming of having number 3 put up there. And I think it's a damn good chance it goes up too. Damn good chance. Since he already has a championship here, he might actually already be up there. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell him that he don't have more work to do, because you're a Laker champion, and that means you got to get more than one. Look at all the other big guys. Do any of them just have one? Even Powell don't have one. He got 2. So Anthony Davis got some work to do. And it's going to be on him to get it too. We love Bron, but Bron ain't the number 1 option on this team no more, man. It's Anthony. The same way we won tonight is going to be the same way we win any game, including the NBA Finals. So that's what I want to see him do. Crash the glass. I challenged him to be a better rebounder last year. I think he's done that. I think it's clear to see that he's doing that. Some of those rebounds he wasn't getting last year, he's getting this year. And it's that simple. I ask for improvement, I see it. So that's what I want to say, man. I just am proud of the team. I'm proud of how we weren't distracted by the night, but more so influenced by the circumstances, the reality of our circumstances. That shows me that we're a different team than we were when we were going up against Oklahoma on Bron's night. Because this is what I wanted to see that night from the team. And what I saw was just a bunch of people appreciating the ceremony and having a game kind of being played around it. But this had the urgency necessary, and I think we got the result we were looking for. So, you know, I think that's the way I want to put it. You know, I feel very good about our team, and I look at the Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously, their situation is pretty serious. I don't want to pour no fire or gas on that today. I just don't. I send prayers and good energy to Ja and his family, and I'm rooting for them to be, you know, successful in life more so than just basketball. So that's the energy that I feel this night deserves. On a night where Powell was being celebrated, this isn't a night to be bashing anybody. But what I do want to say is that we are happy that our guys have their head on straight, and we want to continue to see everybody just keep an opportunity in front of them and not throw it away. So the ones who don't get celebrated. Simple as that. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.